constitutional rights, including your Second Amendment. Representing Texas's 1st Congressional District, Congressman Louie Gohmert. Congressman, thank you for being with me. So we've got plenty to get to, but I want to start with these calls for gun control that are coming from both sides. There is supposed bipartisan support for things like red flag laws. Obviously, the House voted to raise the age to purchase semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21. And these red flag laws, they are talk about a slippery slope. It doesn't get much more slippery than something this loose and this vague when it comes to gun control.
You're so right. And with regard to the red flag laws, what they have proposed really wouldn't make a difference. The proposals they have, oh yeah, they'll take away constitutional rights, and none more so than for minorities. They're going to be the most hurt. But these won't do what they're saying they will do. I mean, it's just hospital gown coverage. In other words, it looks like you're covered, but your rear is exposed. And that's what this will do. It's not going to address the problem. And if you look at red flag laws, and I mentioned minorities, and by the way, this president is scaring people, and people are seeing that they're going to need to protect themselves because of the war against law enforcement that the Democrats have had. So if you look at last year, the past year, the data indicates that Black Americans are their purchases of guns are up 58%. Hispanic Americans, they're up significantly. They're seeing that, gee, if we're going to protect ourselves, it's not going to be the Democrat-run cities that's going to protect us. We're going to have guns and do it ourselves. But, as John Lott has pointed out numerous times, the people that are most impacted by these red flag laws are Hispanics and Black Americans. When they enter a name in the system, if you look at the way it works, these red flags, they use a very generic form of a person's name. They don't put the whole name like it is. And anybody that has a similar name that has ever been arrested is going to cause a red flag to go up on that individual. And we don't know for sure how you can get a red flag removed. That's not something that they're addressing, just like the no-fly list. We have been trying for years to find out, how do you get on the no-fly list and how do you get off? There are people that want to say, if you're on the no-fly list, you can't buy a gun. We don't even know what bureaucrat puts you on the no-fly list, and it's going to be the same way with red flags. You're not going to have a right to know why you're on the red flag list. You're going to have tremendous trouble finding out and then getting off the red flag list. Most people don't have tens of thousands of dollars to go fight it to get themselves off the list so they can buy a gun. Some just give up, and some of those people need a worse than anybody because they know they're at an at-risk neighborhood. So this is dangerous stuff. I know it makes people feel good, gives them that hospital gown feeling that, oh, look, I'm covered. No, it's not going to protect you. It's going to harm you because you're exposed in ways that you won't imagine until it happens.
Yeah, red flag laws won't end mass shootings, but it's sure to end your right to due process. Now, real quick, Congressman,
people were freaking out when I brought up. Well, gee, isn't it interesting? We didn't used to have mass shootings. This country would never have been founded without guns. We've always had the guns, but well, gee, could it be that there is some relationship between ending prayer and the Ten Commandments in schools and the rise of mass shootings started? Well, the Democrats went nuts when I brought that up. I'm just asking the question, is there a correlation? Because the time seems to work there as a generation comes along and they're taught everything's relative. If it feels good, do it. Instead of being taught these are things that are morally right. These are things that are morally wrong. Those are things we need to get back to.
Totally agree. That's a point that I've also brought up. Mass shootings used to be virtually non-existent. and more people arguably own guns than do today. Real quick, sir, we're totally over on time, but I got to get your comment real quick on the news yesterday about the stock market. All the gains made under Trump and in the past, all the gains made under Trump were wiped out from the time Biden took office. So those gains are gone as of yesterday. I looked at my stock portfolio. I about had a heart attack.
Yeah, it's not good. We knew it wouldn't be good. You can't go out and sign the executive orders and war with commercial business and expect the stock market's going to say, well, isn't that wonderful? We got more government. We got a tougher time making a living in the private sector. So you think the stock market's going to go up under those conditions? And it's a testament to Biden's mental state that he doesn't recognize the damage that he's doing.
Right. Couldn't agree more. Well, Congressman, we are totally out of time. Thank you so much for joining me today and for speaking out on this and for standing up for our Second Amendment. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up next,